welcome to the deep dive. Thinking about 2025 and AI, it feels like we're shifting gears. It's not just about the cool stuff AI can do, right?
Exactly. It's becoming more about, well, can we trust it? Who or what are we actually interacting with?
Yeah, precisely. That trust layer seems critical. It feels like AI needs some kind of built-in identity, something verifiable.
And that's where decentralized identity, or DID, comes into the picture. It's looking increasingly essential for AI's next big step.
So today, we're diving into that intersection, AI needing DID, and specifically how ArcBlock seems to be positioning itself right there.
Right. We'll be pulling in some insights, particularly from ArcBlock's CEO, Robert Mao. He made some predictions suggesting 2025 is really the breakout year where AI must have this built-in identity.
Okay, so less about just fancier algorithms, more about the foundation, trust, security.
That's the core idea. Our goal today is really to unpack why this link between AI and DID is becoming so important for everyone.
Great. So let's start with that basic need. AI agents needing real identities. We're seeing these agents everywhere doing tasks, but how do we know who they are?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And DID offers a potential answer. Robert Mao put it quite starkly, actually.
Oh yeah? What did he say?
He said, every AD agent comes with a DID. That's not a feature, it's foundational.
Foundational. Okay, that's a strong statement, not just an add-on.
Exactly. It implies identity isn't bolted on later. It's part of the agent's core design from the get-go, at least in their AGing framework.
So practically, what does having this DDID let an AG agent do? What are the benefits?
Well, it means each agent gets its own unique W3C compliant decentralized identifier. Think of it like a digital passport. It controls itself.
Okay, like a passport.
Yeah, and that enables a few key things. First, secure authentication. The agent can cryptographically prove it is who it claims to be, like a login, but for an agent.
Right, verifiable identity.
Then there's verifiable communication. It can digitally sign its messages or requests, so you know they actually came from that agent and weren't tampered with.
Ah, okay. Integrity.
And because it's based on the W3C standard, it means these agents can, theoretically, interact securely across different platforms and systems that also understand DID's interoperability.
That makes sense on paper. But are developers actually, building with this stuff? Is there real demand for DID plus AI?
It certainly looks like it. Take ArcBlock's involvement in the Decentralized Identity Foundation hackathon, the DIF hackathon. While it wasn't just about AI, a lot of the standout projects actually involved DID-authenticated AI agents.
Really? Like what?
Teams built things like secure email assistants, agents that could reliably act for a user because their identity was verifiable, and data query agents that could prove they had permission to access certain info.
Wow. Okay, so real working prototypes showing developers are genuinely interested in mixing these techs.
Yeah, it's a pretty strong signal that this isn't just theoretical anymore. There's a practical need emerging.
Okay, so knowing who the agent is, that's step one. But then there's the whole black box problem with AI, right? How do we ensure they're acting transparently? This leads to auditable AI.
Precisely. As AI gets more powerful and woven into important processes, people get nervous. We need to see how it makes decisions, not just the final output.
And Robert Mao had a take on this too.
He did. Pretty straightforward. You should be able to see what agent did what, when, and with what data. It's about accountability, moving past just hoping the AI does the right thing.
So how does ArcBlock try to build that auditability into their aging agents?
Their approach embeds it. Every prompt, every response, every action the agent takes can be logged. And these logs are tied cryptographically to the agent's DID.
Ah, so the log itself is linked to the identity.
Exactly. These logs could potentially be stored on-chain, making them immutable, which is huge for compliance or legal scenarios. Or they could be stored locally, depending on the need.
That verifiable history. I can see how that would be incredibly valuable, especially in fields like finance or healthcare. Any examples of this in action?
Yeah, they've mentioned an Aid Genie writing improvement agent. It doesn't just give suggestions, it logs how it decided on them.
Like it's reasoning.
Sort of. It tracks things like why it shifted the tone, what sources it might have consulted, the rationale for certain word choices. This is apparently already used in some content creation workflows.
That's fascinating. So teams can actually see the AI's thought process to some extent.
That's the idea. And you can imagine extending that to regulated industries, being able to trace an AI's decision path. That could be essential for compliance or sorting out disputes, things that are really hard now with opaque systems.
Absolutely. Okay, identity, auditability. The next big elephant in the room is always data privacy. How does DDD play into keeping AI private when needed?
This is super critical. People are rightly concerned about where their data goes when they interact with AI. Robert Mao talked about needing a hybrid approach.
Hybrid.
He said, AI needs to know what to send to the cloud and what never should leave your machine. It's about selective processing.
Okay, so how does ArcBlock enable that?
They support running smaller, lightweight, large language models, things like Llama or Mistral directly on your own device or a private server.
Local processing. So the sensitive stuff stays put.
Right, but DD comes in again with managing access. They use something called deed spaces.
These spaces, what are those?
Think of them like secure containers or zones where you define rules. You use them to control exactly what data an AI agent, identified by its DID, is allowed to touch or share.
So I can set permissions for the agent based on its identity?
Precisely. This allows for smart routing. Sensitive stuff gets handled by the local LLM on your device. Less sensitive queries, maybe for general knowledge, could still go out to a powerful public LLM if you allow it.
So it gives the user granular control over data flow.
Exactly. Keep private stuff private, use the cloud when it makes sense and is safe. It's about having that choice and control tied to identity.
That hybrid model feels like where the industry is heading, with Apple and others talking about on-device AI.
It definitely aligns with trends like Llama, Private GPT, and what the big players are doing. What seems different with ArcBlock is trying to build this capability into their no-code AI builder, AGE.
Making it accessible beyond just expert developers.
That seems to be the goal, bringing that privacy control to a wider audience, creating AI agents.
That's a really interesting angle. Okay, so we've got identity, auditability, privacy. What about AI actually doing things with value, like transactions?
Yeah, moving beyond just information processing into actual economic activity. This is where crypto comes in, creating crypto-powered agents.
And Robert Mao's view on this.
He sees it as essential for agents to become truly autonomous. His line was, agents should be able to pay, earn, and hold value. Without crypto, they're just clever scripts.
Clever scripts. Okay, so crypto turns them from passive tools into active economic participants.
That's the vision, giving them the ability to handle value directly.
How does ArcBlock setup enable that? Do they have specific tools?
Yes, their platform is built with this in mind. They have components like the Payment Kit blocklet, which is designed specifically to let developers build crypto payment capabilities into agent workflows.
So an agent could, pay an invoice automatically?
Exactly. Or maybe manage token-gated access to something, checking if a user holds the right token via their DID, perhaps, or even participating in DAO votes on-chain.
Are these things live? Are there existing components for this?
They mention existing blocklets, yeah. Things like token interaction blocklets for handling payments or assets on-chain, and NFT utility blocklets for verifying NFT ownership and maybe distributing them.
Okay, so the building blocks are there.
And they also talk about their MCP model context protocol. They describe it almost like a universal adapter, a USB-C for agents.
A USB-C for agents, what does that mean?
It's meant to allow different agents, maybe even from different systems, to securely talk to each other or interact with blockchains using a common standard. It opens up way more complex interactions than just simple payments.
Right, so it's about interoperability for actions and data exchange between agents and chains.
That's the idea, making the whole ecosystem work together more smoothly.
Okay, putting this all together, why is DD so fundamentally crucial as AI grows, especially looking towards 2025? What's the bottom line?
The bottom line is risk, really. AI without verifiable identity, without audit trails, without clear data controls, it poses significant risks as it gets more embedded in everything we do.
Risks around trust, transparency.
Exactly. Users, regulators, businesses, they're all going to be asking tougher questions. Who's responsible for this AI's action? Where did my data really go? Can I trust this agent with sensitive tasks? Can I pull the plug if needed?
And without DDD, those questions are hard to answer definitively.
Very hard. Maybe impossible in some cases. The idea is that building on a foundation of DID provides a way to start answering them reliably.
And ArcBlock is positioning itself as providing those answers built in.
That seems to be their core strategy. Build the solutions to those inevitable questions directly into the platform from the start.
We mentioned Robert Mao's earlier predictions, too, about AI moving fast from model competition to application competition. Did fit into that?
Absolutely. If everyone has access to powerful AI models, the way you win is by building better, more useful, and crucially, more trustworthy applications. Identity and auditability become competitive advantages.
And their AG&E platform, the no-code aspect, is key to getting those trustworthy applications built by more people.
That seems to be the push, making these advanced identity-aware AI capabilities accessible not just for elite coders, but for a broader range of creators building chatbots, assistants, all sorts of agents.
It sounds like a very deliberate, engineering-focused approach to integrating these technologies.
Yeah, they emphasize building the platform transparently and focusing on the technical foundations needed for this future of AI plus D-to-day.
So wrapping up, the main takeaway is, for AI in 2025 and beyond, decentralized identity isn't just nice to have, it's becoming table stakes for trust.
Pretty much. It's shifting from a feature to a fundamental requirement if we want AI systems that are transparent, secure, and accountable.
And ArcBlock is actively building the tools and infrastructure to make that happen, integrating DID right into their AI agents.
That's their stated goal, yes. Proactively tackling that need.
Okay. Leaves us with a final thought then.
Yeah.
As these AI agents get smarter, more autonomous, more integrated, how will decentralized identity change what we expect? How will it reshape our ideas about trust and accountability online?
That's the big question to ponder, isn't it? It could fundamentally alter how we interact with digital systems and services. Definitely something to keep a close eye on.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for breaking all that down today. Really insightful stuff.